talk a little bit about Copy's spiel here on the day, and loving to hear from Cloud9 Academy, from a member, but especially from Copy Cubby.
I mean, Copy's always soft spoken, but I appreciate how he's really honest about some of the shortcomings that they had just with the roster sub situation being thrown together last second, visas being affected at both levels. For C9. So I think that through all that, trying to be a better teammate, I like it. The fact that they at least ended this week with a win, I think, is something they can run with for next week. And I'm hoping that they continue to at least trend upwards, regardless of however long they have to play with these subs.
It's all about momentum in this point. I always like to bring it up, but we do have another game on the horizon. Our final series of week number 1. We got CLG Academy taking on Team Liquid Academy. We haven't gotten to cover these teams yet. First time for our little troop here in the 3, and it's going to be a fun one. I have no doubt, and I immediately just want to dive into this CLG Academy roster, Magical.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the rosters, looking at CLG especially, Jenkins is the big one that I kind of had my eyes on. The fact that I think this is a fantastic player still, but he didn't have the best time in LCS, right? It was a little bit lackluster, a little bit not behind what everyone expected of him. But back here in Academy, I'm just expecting him to start crushing again, get that confidence back in him so he can reemerge into the LCS.
I think it's going to be a good proving grounds, maybe in the academy scene for him to really find some ground underneath him and really prove why there was such that big focus, I guess, on Jenkins himself. And I think on the other side, proof has already been proven. You've already gotten the championship of proving grounds for Team Liquid Academy, Cubby, and it's looking real good.
And, it's Jenkins playing against his old team and his old teammates in the core of Romeo, Harry, Jan, Ayla. Did these guys win Proving Grounds in 2021? No, but they did win Academy and that split of Academy playoffs. And it's funny, like, seeing Jenkins, play against this team now. I talked to Romeo about Jenkins, like their time together. And, I mean, these guys have nothing but good things to say about Jenkins. They were a very successful team together. And, it feels bad, like, seeing them compete against each other in Academy again, considering all the success they did have and the fact that Jenkins is back in this league. But also, I think it speaks to the level of play that we have in North America and the level of play that these players have been able to maintain throughout the years.
Being a little bit of jealousy maybe there. They won the championship without him, all that kind of stuff. But I think
they won in 21. They did win again. The Proving Grounds won. But
but I do want to roll some clips of that and seeing a little bit more of why this team was such a legendary piece to the academy scene, Magical.
I think it was also the fact that it wasn't even just that they're a good piece of Team Liquid. They were Team Liquid at that time. They worked so well with one another. Like, the fact that Jenkins could play more carries, his cannon is legendary, but it also is so willing to fall back onto Lulu, to let Armeo be the one that led the charge, to try to see if that was going to be how they wanted to, or if he wanted to Gangplank. His Gangplank was really good as well. There are so many different levels to Jenkins and Armeo with how they were able to function with one another. It was varying styles. You could see the veteranship that both players have had from a tenured career, that they were able to always adapt, always do what they need, what that team needed of them in case they wanted to be more of like Harry on Lee Sin and popping up. If they wanted Jan to be the one who was doing most damage, they always were willing to fit the mold.
Yeah, and I think Jenkins himself had proven a lot, and that's why he did get the bump up into LCS and had a little bit of an opportunity in that aspect, Cubby.
I think it's interesting. Just, I mean, even like talking with Triple and what it's been like playing with Jenkins instead of Dokla. These are two very different players. Jenkins oftentimes played without resources, had a different champion pool, and someone that is been known for being pretty vocal throughout these games, whereas Dokla, is that committed carry in the top side. So I think that the switch up for COG at LCS, I mean, Dokla, he was our most valuable prospect last split. Dokla was incredible last split. These are two top laners that I could see a world where, the team can utilize both to play different styles and be effective. And frankly, I thought that Jenkins and Luger would be a better fit than Dokla plus Luger. So while I think that Dokla, earned his time, it's hard to doubt the prowess that Dokwa had in the last split. I still could see a world where, Jenkins is still competing for LCS time, because Jenkins is someone that has been really good in the past for Academy, and we've already seen him crushing games, as he had 2 amazing Aatrox games yesterday against Golden Guardians Academy.
Well, that's something that they kind of were even saying themselves. Like CLG, we're looking at Zoka being, big part of it, but also having the sub potential with Jenkins, but kind of moving the conversation. Yeah, they play very different. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's also important to kind of talk about who he's going up against today, because I really like to see Bradley, this former mid laner turned top laner, and how he plays how he just plays in general. He'll play whatever he wants when he wants. He's a fun personality to have, and here's the only change that Team Liquid made from 2021 to 2022.
Yeah, and I think that matchup there, I know I got him as my player to watch here early on in the season, because I think Bradley, as I've said before, the soapbox, he's going to use Summer to springboard forward in this top lane, feeling a lot more comfortable in that aspect. But a key piece to Team Liquid Academy, who has been there through it all, is the general himself in Armeo, and I think that's super important to talk about here, Cubby.
And, I mean, Armeo, I know that, last split, Team Liquid winning Proving Grounds, it was almost sweet justice for Armeo, because Armeo, as in his career, has taken what he considers a few losses, like 2020, not being able to solidify himself with that full-time LCS spot. 2021, Team Liquid falling up short when it came to Proving Grounds, and also not having the opportunity to compete in Proving Grounds because he was overseas.
Exactly. Thank you. I was about to say,
don't
give
the whole story out there.
I feel like this past split winning is justice for him. Just like it feels like retribution for the entire squad of Team Liquid.
Absolutely.
And if we're looking at their play they've showcased so far in Academy, they've picked up right where they left off. They have been dominating teams to a 4-0 start, and are looking to dominate CLG again today as they continue what has been them picking up as champions.
Exactly that. Let's see if that rampage continues as champion select for our final series of the day is ready to go. Magical, Cubby, take it away.
And hopefully we end it on a high note against CLG Academy and Team Liquid. These 2 teams, honestly, I expect great things of Team Liquid, one of 2 teams to remain completely intact going into the summer split. While CLG, they're waiting on a couple visas to get their players in. Kevy, not here just yet. Neither is Meech. But so far, I mean, Luger, it's hard to argue against Luger because how great he was in the past.
And, I mean, this is a fun rematch, too. Luger versus Jan. Luger was the marksman for 100 Thieves Academy, the victorious Proving Grounds team.
Yep.
And him and Jan had a bit of a rivalry. And honestly, I'm excited for this one because I think that Luger's coming off of a great split of LCS. I had Luger as a top 5, maybe even top 4 marksman in the league. And on the side of Team Liquid, Jan has been incredible at the start of this split. And talking with some of the Team Liquid players, 4 out of the 5 players went to this Korean boot camp. They said that Jan is really hot coming out of there, has been playing fantastic, showcased it yesterday, had game 2 where he pretty much willed his team to victory with that Ezreal performance that Jan put on the Rift. Really excited to see these 2 very talented marksmen go toe-to-toe yet again.
But it is pretty easy to have that when you have a support like Ayla, who got 3 bans aimed right at him. That we haven't seen quite that much focus on support bans from any teams. It seems like Ayla is getting the treatment that we've seen other players such as junglers receive.
And because this pick ban has been so bot lane focused, look at what's open. Gwen, Talia, Wukong. CLG want to prioritize that Talia. We'll see if it goes in the hands of Rosethorn or Triple, but this does leave Gwen open, Wukong open for the side of Team Liquid Academy. Curious if they just grab both here.
I would be surprised if they didn't, honestly. Just looking at how they've drafted in the past, it's just those have been strong picks that they can easily grab for themselves. Armeo has performed really well on the Wukong so far this season, and Bradley, he's comfortable playing so many different styles. The Gwen fits right in that wheelhouse.
Man, when Gwen first came out, it was a must ban against Bradley. He was playing at mid. I had to coach a team that drafted against Bradley. I had to ban that thing away from him. Actually, no, we let it through. We tried to play Jax into it, and he still destroyed us. So, yeah, he's really good at the Gwen. If they do end up taking that, but
but they
instead, it's going to be the Ezreal for Jan. All this bot lane focus. Make sure that Jan gets one of the champions that he has been the best at throughout his entire career. So it will be Ezreal for him. A CLG, see if they pick up the Gwen here.
Well, I'd expect it. It's just because you can't really leave that open. The fact that they're getting Talia and Gwen, though, I think is just a missed opportunity on the side of Team Liquid. I understand that they want Yawn to be on something very comfortable, such as the Ezreal, and Luger is just as comfortable playing that champion. But Talia and Gwen are monstrous right now on this patch.
I am fully expecting a Gangplank here for Bradley to play into Gwen. If not, you gotta believe.
Does he go Prowler's Claw again?
Yeah, I mean Gangplank it looks really good into Talia, Aphelios, Gwen. I gotta believe that's a selection here for Team Liquid as okay. That's a little bit different, but hey, Fiora, I really think this durability patch really helped Fiora. The HP, the true damage, or I should say percent health, true damage that she does with the vitals. I think given everyone has more health, more armor, more MMR, that values Fiora. We've seen it blinded. Asserti did it against Team Liquid, and it is a matchup that you can win into the Gwen, so Bradley gonna take that one for himself.
This is the first time he's repeated a champion in this split so far. He's picked 4 unique champions previously to this. Fiora was the champion he played on day 1 in their first victory. So having this again for him, especially into something like the Gwen, which is what he almost faced off against, it was swapped around, so we could possibly see another one of those switch arenas, the flexes, coming in from CLG if they want to throw Rosethorn onto Gwen instead.
I will say that with the double magic damage, I guess flex picks being shown, it looks like Team Liquid's assuming that that's going to be the 2 solo laners. There's going to be a physical damage jungler. That is always nice because it does make sure that whichever solo lane you gank, you at least have to prep for double resistances. But still, I'm expecting some early Maws coming out as, honestly, interesting bans because the Viego tells me that's targeted at Rosethorn, just in case. And then the Gangplank, I guess, in case they want to opt out of that Fiora matchup. So I guess Team Liquid also not really sure exactly where that Gwen Talia are going. One thing I know for sure, though, yeah, one thing I know for sure, Team Liquid with the Ezreal, with the Fiora, that tells me they're going to look for more of a 4-1, 1-3-1 style. And Team Liquid, to be fair, are going to be on the back foot early. So a little bit of scaling in their pockets, trying to deal with what should be the onslaught coming down from Aphelios, who can't get shoved in lane, and then a Talia who can impact the map no matter which role she's slotted into.
Ayla got a lot of attention in this draft by CLG. They put so much respect onto him. 5 whole bans just at Ayla, not really caring about what Harry's going to play, not really giving a damn about the Fiora that's been picked up there. Instead, just banning away Ayla's champions, and the victor now makes its way through.
I think if I'm CLG, I know that Enchantresses have been really a feel-good in this patch. I want Breezy to take hard engage. I'm looking at Victor, Ezreal, Fiora. I think it's really important that CLG is able to force the issue early and often. Because if this team is allowed to scale, if they're allowed to get off the ground, it's going to be deadly. So Trundle, honestly,
that's probably Trundle top.
I know. I think it's Trundle jungle, and pairing this with a Hook champion could be really good. Yeah. I want to see Breezy here. You know, take Blitzcrank, take Nautilus. Into Ezreal, Blitz obviously doesn't feel that great, but I think Nautilus being able to force the issue. Rakan, you can force the issue with, so okay, I would like this out of the side of Breezy, and I feel like it's a good read from CLG.
I think it's Trundle top still. I'm not convinced otherwise.
You know, you don't have the pizzas on your shirt today, Mad Magical, so I guess you're a little bit less crazy, but to me, Trundle top seems a bit insane. You've been watching too much Collegiate.
Okay, that's true. But I don't know. I'm looking at this draft. There's still the potential that you can flex around a lot of things, really keep them off their toes. As Ayla, the one thing that was remaining was this Nami that hadn't really gotten touched because they figured with the Lucian ban of my Team Liquid, there's no way the Nami would be the choice.
I was kind of hoping for a Zillion. I really like Zillion and Rakan, but I like the Nami. And again, for Team Liquid, I look at that team. Minimal engage. Armeo is going to be the one that is in charge of engaging for this team. But their ability to 1-3-1, if Bradley is able to get off the ground and running, no one can deal with Bradley in the side lane. That's why I think it's so important that CLG was able to find ways to force the issue onto Team Liquid. I used to be Team Liquid trying to play the map and split resources across the map to try and get Bradley ahead early. Whereas I think CLG, it's got to be a full court press, because if things get to 2 items plus, you're against Victor Ezreal, that Aphelios is going to feel like it's heavily outranged. You're going to have a really hard time forcing the issue against Team Liquid.
Yeah, and it's not the Trundle top that I wanted to see. It is going to be the traditional. This is something that more respectable, right? It's
Sorry to
not
disappoint you, man.
yeah, I like
I'm
my
sorry
cheesy picks.
Logic wins sometimes.
Only
I
sometimes.
truly feel bad about that.
That my philosophy is why make sense when you can make nonsense.
I mean, I feel like that goes back to some of what our forefathers' theory was when it comes to playing League of Legends. How can the other team know what we're doing if we don't know what we're doing?
And I've been playing since those days. I've been playing this game for way too long.
Ever since the Dignitas I'm a Cutie Pie days, that Mad Magical,
Before
that was the peak of philosophy right there.
I
It was
played
just done.
before.
No more thinking.
I was an early Moscow 5 fan. Come on, man.
Okay, I can respect that.
That's how
I can
far back
respect
I
that.
go. It's like season 1. But I hear that we are ready for our final series to commence. The first game in this best of 2 between Counter Logic Gaming Academy and Team Liquid Academy.
And what has been a hell of a week of Academy games. It's been great to have Academy return in what historically has been deemed as a super week. We do have 4 of these technical super weeks.
I mean, they could be super weeks, or do we want to call the other one lesser weeks?
I like that. I feel like, the fact it's a super week, when it's like the majority of the weeks, I feel like the other ones are lesser weeks. I like your logic here, Mad Magical. Logic wins.
Haha! Why make sense when you can make nonsense? That's what I like to hear.
Well, we'll try to make sense of these early openers as, again, I feel like the big priority for Team Liquid, what can break the game in their favor, it's going to be time and also Bradley getting ahead. Curiously enough,
a late invade. They don't realize that 4 members were there. So Breezy, he was at first like, yeah, let's fight.
Wow.
And then he saw other members. He's like, hell no, I'm getting out of here.
Early heal burned by Luger, so maybe opening up a couple windows. Shouldn't be a all-in window for Ezreal Nami, but this is a really strong lane. I mean, thinking back historically, I remember Uzi playing this to great success many times at Worlds. Of course, Lucian Nami is the very powerful lane at the moment, but historically, Ezreal Nami also been very strong and very difficult to deal with as well.
Well, you talk a lot about how like artillery mages can work really well with Nami Brand being one of those champions that actually is pretty powerful with her. But Ezreal kind of functions a little bit like that artillery mage.
I will say, I've mentioned Brand Nami a lot. Brand did get nerfed. I do have to credit the original founder.
That's not yet, though. That's on 12-11.
I have to credit the original founder of the tech. It was Insanity. Insanity deserves credit for that tech, but it is good.
Nice.
I did use it to cheese some Elo, for sure.
Nice. I mean, back when I used to cheese Elo a lot more, I'd always look for the champion that just got reworked or that was really powerful, and I just slammed them because I can play every champion, and I'd get free Elo each time.
See Bradley really trying to force the issue here as that W evolve second dodge out on the snips. Interesting. It's a very long cooldown. So Jenkins, as the W is down, I actually have a few windows to look. And this lane being played out rather volatile. Important to note, both of these top laners have Ignite, and both of the junglers are pathing up to the top lane. So we'll see if either of them choose to get involved, as Roseland will be here first.
Fight. Ignite comes out from Jenkins, but not from Bradley. Waiting for Armeo. He can use that decoy to grab some distance onto Jenkins, who's playing way too far out. No vision on where Armeo is at the moment. No idea. He's just right around that corner. He's even calling up Rosethorn to try to see if maybe they can make the play onto Bradley. But instead, it is going to be Bradley and Armeo. There's the Ignite ticking just on to Jenkins. The jump in, but the riposte picks up first blood. Traded back and forth. Now it's the junglers. Both of them fighting it out. And like you talked about, you don't fight a Trundle at level 3. Trundle fights you. Double kill.
Good read from Rosethorn as it will be a trade. Can't see exactly how the kills went down if we can get the scoreboard to go down and then back up. Oh boy, bot lane. That's a nice double bubble from Ayla.
There we go. Good double bubble. Delays and disengages the fight from Luger and Breezy, which is a good attempt from both sides. It's crazy. You're seeing a lot of this early skirmishing potential from both teams.
All right, so consequences of that top lane trade. I think it benefits Bradley. The fact that
he got the kill.
He got the kill and he got to catch a humongous wave. You can see Jenkins trying to take an early reset as Bradley is picking up the rest of that wave. It is on a cannon wave, so Jenkins doing this just to get some potions to try and contest Bradley moving forward. But that Sheen's going to feel really good for Bradley, and he's going to be up in experience in the laning phase. But, of course, Rosethorn really big now. So we'll see if Rosethorn can make good use of this, as now Armeo looking hot.
Looks, but nice disengage from Bradley. The flashes come in. Double
Oh, the bubble
from Ayla. Allows them to pick up one. They do lose Armeo for it, though.
Still gets worth, goes over to the support. Yon will be able to crash this wave, and Luger set behind as another double bubble connects from Ayla. That last pick, Nami, 5 bans thrown at Ayla as well. Still able to make a huge impact.
You can't stop Ayla. You can't ban him out. He's always got another ace up of his sleeve.
Yon will have his base delayed by Rosethorn, but I'd say, again, overall, Team Liquid trading out rather evenly early, and as long as Bradley is able to get ahead in this matchup, that is exactly what Team Liquid wants. They want a quiet early game with Bradley to find a big lead.
He's done so already. He's made sure that he's punished Jenkins, who will have that Ignite up before Bradley will. There is always that opportunity that Jenkins could look for a skirmish at that opportunity, but let's take a look at the bot lane play.
And this is just all Ayla. The
double
double bubble, it's so good. Armeo does go down. Did not have flash thanks to that top lane gank, but still, I think the 1-for-1 is worth it. And Team Liquid making sure that the gold is going onto the right members of their team, not the enemy team. We'll take those.
And with this, you can see where a lot of the gold is kind of spread out amongst the teams. Actually, I'm a bit surprised to see that there is still somewhat of a lead for CLG, but that is all from...
Look at that wave.
I know, it's going to be made up, but I'm just more looking at where it is at the moment. It's the 2 kills that Rosethorn has gotten to kind of control Armeo, who, even if Armeo tried to look for the play in the bot lane, he didn't really get anything from it. He didn't get the assist credit for it. While he sets up Yon to have a little bit more gold, he, as Wukong, is struggling.
And you can see any time that Jenkins tries to dash in with that empowered Q, Bradley just there to counter as Rosethorn will find Armeo. Rosethorn is down a level, but Trundle's strong. Harry is here first.
Oh, Harry with the fall up for damage right there. Looking for that gravity well to disengage this fight, but Jenkins
Watch Bradley.
Use that needlework, and he's got Ignite ticking. Bradley wants to chase this down, and he gets a nice Vital on top of him.
Oh,
Couldn't
Bradley.
get a shutdown. Perfect timing to get level 6, so he can pick up 2 kills. Triple now having to run away from Harry, and Armeo should be able to get out of that.
So well done from Bradley, as, I mean, oftentimes we talk about the fact that Bradley role swapped to top lane. This is a pick that he used to play mid. It was one of his favorite picks into Galio. And like when other things were taken away from him, he would go to the Fiora, showing some of the prowess there as the QW to find a Vital, find the Slow, and find a second kill. Bradley, again, the dream early game start for Team Liquid. Slow early game with Bradley finding a lead. 3-1 on this Fiora counter pick. Bradley has the chance to split this game into oblivion.
And in his second split of Academy, having won his very first split Proving Grounds, is an exciting time for him. And now we're seeing that he's still playing incredibly well, and even looking like he might have leveled up since that last split.
I mean, the big thing for Bradley is the fact that Bradley, he's team fought like a monster ever since he has swapped to top lane. But it's the laning phase that we're looking for Bradley to have improvements. We did see a bit of that. One of the reasons that Team Liquid did fall behind quite a bit in Game 2 yesterday was that Bradley did make some mistakes up there in the top lane. But this lane, I think, has played out very, very well. And if Bradley continues to show improvements, specifically in the laning phase, that's what we're looking for out of him and what really elevates his stock in the pool of what we're looking to be a pretty talented pool of top laners here in Academy this split, especially given how well Soul's been performing.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's just been a great thing from Bradley. Now playing this well into Jenkins, a seasoned player who's played many splits in Academy, got a brief stint there in the LCS and trying to fight back for that spot to show that he can play this Fiora so well into Gwen. And set up that top side amazingly for Team Liquid, but the big problem is that they haven't been able to set up the bot lane enough. They got the one gank that came in from Armeo, but ever since then, Luger and Breezy have just been winning it out. They've been finding plays, and they can even look for this, though. They got Breezy low, it doesn't matter. They're able to pick up the kill, and with that Trundle Pillar, it makes sure that Yon has no escape, and it's a double kill secured by Luger.
Really nice engage from Breezy. I like the buffer that Ayla had, but it wasn't enough, and that's big for CLG. They needed to find a point of strength on the map. finding it bottom lane, getting Luger ahead. As Triple joked on Twitter yesterday, the Luger boosting service was activated. Now Luger's sitting at 2-1-1. Real strong on this Aphelios and Rosethorn.
Nice pillar.
Done.
Flashed
Good flash.
away from the seismic shoves to make sure that he doesn't get drawn back in. It's a good play from Harry to make sure he survives that, as well as pushing back Triple and Rosethorn, making sure he's going to the bottom half of the map, because that entire time, Armeo was taking Rift Herald.
That's one of the reasons that Rosethorn was able to go for the play, too, as they had a ward on Rift Herald. So, again, spotting the Wukong, Rosethorn able to make some positive plays for CLG. He's been very involved in this early game on the Trundle. Got the bot lane ahead, and we'll see if CLG can really push the tempo. We spent a lot of time talking about how Team Liquid, getting Bradley ahead, setting up for the 4-1 split push. That really is their feel-good spot in this game. For the side of CLG, they need to utilize Triple on this Tulia to try and snowball that bot lane. Ayla, Yon just got flashes back, but Harry just dropped his. So I think a revisit mid for CLG could be exactly what the doctor ordered to try start opening up this game in their favor.
But right now, we're getting a couple of resets from both sides. We already saw a bit of a reset in the bot lane from Yon and Ayla. Mid lane, Triple, going back home. Found a couple of items, filling out that inventory a little bit more, as well as getting the boots completed, just for more movement speed, more chances to move around the map. And whenever I see a Talia mid, I'm always looking for those rotations. Where will Triple look to go first?
Yon.
He should be alive, even with the Moonlight Vigil to get him stunned up. It was a lot burned in order to survive, but I would have been surprised had he died.
I mean, Luger just traded 1 sum for 2, so
Right.
I'd say that's well worth it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's not worth it. I just would have been surprised if Yon had died.
Well done by the LCS bot laner for CLG, again subbing in while Meech so obtaining his visa from Canada. Excited to see Meech play, but until then, get the treat of watching Luger play in Academy again.
Hey, you know what? I like watching Luger play, to be honest. He is
exciting.
He was so exciting.
He is
to
good and
watch.
exciting.
Last year, I think it was his first split in Academy. He brought over from Turkey. Absolutely dominant on 100 Thieves. And here, playing for CLG Academy, even if it's only stepping in, it's always a treat to watch.
We'll see if Luger can help secure his Academy team a couple victories here. Did help. So yesterday, him and Jenkins played very well, I thought. Triple has honestly been playing well entire split. Kick things off, and I'm still keeping my eyes on the Triple. He has that Weaver's Wall up, and with Yon now missing both summoner spells, I like this idea from CLG trying to set up bot lane. I want to see the Weaver's Wall come in soon, as plates are about to drop. They have another 2-minute window to try and really punish and get some extra gold for it if they're able to execute a play.
And in that time, they get a little bit of a play here onto Harry. Triple was able to get a good amount of damage onto him, but with the TP and still up and available for Harry, he could easily go back before they actually look for a skirmish.
You can see up top, Bradley just consistently freezing the lane on the Jenkins. Actually, just got the ult out of Jenkins.
Look at the lead.
Yeah, it is slowly growing ever more in Bradley's favor, but I think this is the window for CLG. You can see Rosethorn Triple just crashed that wave, got Harry's TP. They are moving towards this bot side, skipping over the crab, as the wave is shoving in bot. Armeo is here to cover.
He is here, looks to see if he can get the flank.
Harry
Was able
too.
to get a little bit of damage, but Harry does not secure the blue buff. It was stolen away by Rosethorn, but now he has to make it out alive. Has to make it all worthwhile. Moonlight
Luger.
Vigil will get a root onto Armeo on the other side, while Luger does a lot of damage to Harry. But Ayla, the fact that he's there, and Bradley with the flank, he had already TP'd on top of Triple. Every vital has been procced, and it's a killing spree for Bradley, looking to hunt down a few more of CLG. Will make it back towards their turret, and Bradley will have to be happy with the 1 kill he gained.
And honestly, I mean, that's the unexpected from the side of Team Liquid. It's Bradley ditching the side wave, joining the fight, and making a big difference in it, as he's able to help make sure that Team Liquid's bot lane is safe. The play goes in their favor, but we'll see if CLG can get anything else. Still looking.
Still looking for these plays, but Bradley has not relented. It looks like they're wanting to trade that top turret, the tier 1, for the charge here in mid, getting 2 plates for themselves, as well as probably taking down this bot lane turret.
And overall, I'd say that this is worth it for the side of Team Liquid. Yes, it does get Jenkins back in the game on this Gwen, but funneling gold over to your late game carries in the Victor and the Ezreal is well worth it as Armeo.
Armeo? You didn't want to be there, buddy.
Thanks for the leash. CLG will take those.
Oh. Nearly got... the Weaver's Wall nearly killed Breezy. That's his own teammate.
What an interesting set of plays, honestly. I mean, I watch this happen in the game as it shakes out. It's an even gold game, but again, I feel like the gold for Team Liquid is in the right spots. The one concern is that they will just be forced to likely fight the 3rd and or 4th dragon, and we'll see if Team Liquid is strong enough to do so when that point of the game comes.
Well, right now, Rosethorn battling a bit against Jan, who flashes in, gets the cleanse, has the damage. One more chop with the red bomb and the B from Rosethorn.
Oh my goodness, Jan was stepping up, trying to force him off the ground, didn't space properly, ate a normal auto attack from Rosethorn with the red buff. That was enough for him to chase it down, as Rosethorn, he's been huge this game, Mad Magical.
Well, I mean, he's literally got nearly the same KDA as Bradley, who's also been huge this game. 4-1-1 Trundle versus 4-1-0 Fiora.
And the fact that Rosethorn, again, that double kill top, and now shifting the power, getting bot ahead, getting flashes out of mid, he has been everywhere on this Trundle. As, again, I still think it's really important that CLG is able to find positive plays now, able to push the pace of the game. An even gold game, Fiora will get out of control. We're already seeing Bradley.
Is he just going to solo kill him underneath the turret? No! The fact the turret was able to help out makes it a 1-for-1 trade, and more importantly, shut down gold for Jenkins.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Bradley, just taking too many tower shots. A little bit of patience there, might have been able to get him, or at least force him back on the next wave to burn that TP, but instead stepping forward, looking for the solo bola. Will be the trade instead.
But at least, you know, you're still getting these kills as Fiora. You're still punishing the Gwen, who is great at scaling up into the game as well. You don't want to let the Gwen just have a free lane. It's still, you know, it's a bit of hubris. It's a little bit of a grade on the side of Bradley because he's so far ahead. So once he gets back into this lane, I'm expecting him to probably play a little bit more passively, not look for the all-ins like that, because doing it once is fine, but you want to make sure the rest of your team is still building up for success.
CLG, for me, all eyes again on this Weaver's Wall. About to come off cooldown for triple. As Mayo. So he will be able to chase. He has red buff.
Has Cyclone as well, but gotta be careful against snip damage, especially with a Riftmaker completed and an Oblivion Orb. They also saw on the wings that Rosethorn and Breezy were both on their way up to the top lane with their own bot lane right behind them.
That Oblivion Orb for Jenkins, it doesn't matter in this Fiora matchup. Fiora, especially with the Vamp Scepter to Divine Sunder, will heal through it.
That's true.
You see Bradley, yeah, those Sheen-empowered Qs, just too much for the Gwen. Still, I mean, I think that the win conditions that we laid out at the start of this game, Mad Magical, Team Liquid, they wanted the early game to go even and Bradley to have a lead. It's been a little bit crazy from CLG. I think CLG's gotten a little bit more gold than Team Liquid would have liked, but if you look at the scoreboard, it's still an even game and Bradley with the lead. So for Team Liquid, I still am expecting them to play out 3 lanes, try and spread the map, try and dodge out on Talia plays. And for CLG, I still think it's really important they push the tempo. This Talia falls off. This Aphelios gets outranged by Victor and Ezreal as the game goes on. And Fiora will be a menace in the side lanes. So I think that I really want to see CLG try to look with Luger having that Graviton and with Triple having that Weaver's Wall. Try and force the issue here because things do not get better for you as this game goes on.
As at the moment, they are playing a bit aggressively on the top half of the map. Looking to see if they can find out the members of Team Liquid, kind of punish them if they try to go for their own jungle, but they weren't able to find the complete angle. Instead, now it is a reset partially by CLG, probably trying to time it up with the dragon spawning.
I like that. Luger almost able to complete that Bloodthirster before this dragon comes on the map, and it's decision time for Team Liquid. Do they try and contest this?
Well, right now it's more if Bradley can 1v1 against Jenkins and Rosethorn. He tries valiantly, but wasn't able to get that last vital proc from the Grand Challenge.
Might be able to 1v1, but can't 1v2 in the top side as Rosethorn with that ultimate makes the big difference. Really good for the side of CLG. Again, this dragon getting to Soul Point. And again, the CLG, we feel like they have to push the pace up. That can help them. And the fact they have a 5v4 on the map, they got mid. Oh boy.
Breezy was able to get a bunch out of Yon, the cleanse being the big one that he blew out of him. Now that they got the tier 1 as well, with 20 seconds until the Infernal Dragon spawns, the potential soul point for CLG, this is a perfect time for them now to rotate around and gain full control of the pit.
And I like how CLG is playing this out again. Knowing that they have early priority, knowing that Team Liquid, they shouldn't be able to check this. That's big. There's a Graviton.
Moonlight Vigil Graviton onto Armeo, but now the TP in from Bradley. Here's the raid boss. He dives on top of Roastler and gets splashed out of him. With how low Armeo was taken, could be risky for them to hang around. Jenkins is right there on the wings, waiting to have his own flank.
You can see him trying to get as much poke down on the Luger as possible. As Luger on green-red right now, not the best, and Luger really stepping up here.
Well, look at where Jenkins is as well. He's far from the fight,
no.
So it's an immediate kill and death for the side of CLG. They've got the bot lane, they've got the fed jungler as well. Jenkins was not with the team, so the flash from Triple will still be his downfall.
CLG not on the same page, and you cannot do that against the #1 team we have in Academy. Our 21 Spring Proving Grounds champions. If you make these mistakes against them, they will punish exactly what Team Liquid does. Is now,
Oh my.
We're 20 minutes into the game. Who needs the dragon? Let's start the Baron.
Well, ¿por qué no los dos? They've TP'd down here towards the dragon with Harry getting a lot of damage onto Jenkins.
I think they're just trying to buy time, stall it out. That Baron, it's gone. It is in the pockets of Team Liquid.
What a call.
As they will start to accelerate that gold lead. Also, Harry, he's gotten rather fed off of the last couple of skirmishes. 3-0-3 demonic embrace completed on this Victor. I don't know how you can deal with him, especially if he has flash up. Again, the 1-3-1 for Team Liquid so strong as, man, Luger stepping up here. You don't have Jenkins, you don't have Triple, you're trying to throw down Reptile. That is a split call, and everything for CLG goes to the wayside.
You give them an inch and they'll make a mile out of it. Team Liquid, that was a monumental fight where the game was pretty even. It was almost looking like CLG had the points of power here in the mid game, where they could have found ways to punish that of Team Liquid, in fact had done so. But then one overstep, just not respecting the fact that you didn't have all 5 members there against Team Liquid, they completely dominate the fight and take Baron on top of it.
And Team Liquid, I mean, yes, that dragon does put them on a bit of a timer in the sense that every 5 minutes you do have to force, or at least match the force that CLG will throw at that dragon. But Team Liquid 3k gold lead. Bradley's still pretty fed in this side lane. Has overextended once or twice as Rosethorn caught him off guard, but in the 1v1, Bradley has been more than sound in this matchup. He's been playing it wonderfully. And with the increased gold in his pockets, it's going to be even harder and harder for Jenkins to contest.
Now that he's gotten the Ravenous Hydra as well, set up perfectly for the 1-3-1 if they want to set that up. They've got the Baron already on top of him with the 4-1 potential, or is it? Because Bradley has rotated up. I think he's been spotted out by the Shrine.
And his team was on reset, so I think it's proper for Bradley to be a little bit less forward at the moment, as now his team's back out on the map, and Bradley feels comfortable to go hit the wave again. Team Liquid now setting their sights on this mid-outer turret.
And this favors Team Liquid over and over again. The longer the game kind of spells out, they'll always find themselves comfortable with this kind of draft, with the Victor, with the Fiora, the Ezreal that can outrange Luger.
Yeah,
All
Victor's
they have to
really
do is be
fed,
patient.
too.
Exactly.
This Victor's gotten really big.
Yeah, he's 3-0-3. Just suddenly, Harry's massive. And Harry is one of those players that always is kind of unsung throughout every split. But this guy is so consistent and a perfect for Team Liquid that you could always rely on him like a rock. But if Bradley gets caught out right here, maybe they'll have to make a play mid lane. He's 1v5,
nice.
getting a lot of damage there, shoving him around and bouncing him around so that they get a killing spree over to the side of Rosethorn.
Really clever and well played by Breezy. He was trying to bait out the riposte, did so successfully as CLG chains it up beautifully. That is taking the split pusher out of the picture. And we'll see. Jenkins is on the flank. He's now spotted. How does Harry respond?
This could work out well
good.
for
This is good.
CLG. They've got the needlework damage.
Really good.
They even got the tidal wave with the flash as well. But Harry, he's now the focus of
Oh my
Jenkins. They
goodness.
can't get on top of him, and nobody's with Jenkins, so Harry finds himself on a rampage.
And it was a split on the back half as Harry yawned the damage coming out from the Ezreal Victor. It was way too much for CLG to handle as they got chunked out by the 2 carries of Team Liquid, and even down a man could not make it happen.
They couldn't get to Harry. That's the big problem there. Jenkins tried so damn hard to stick on top of this Victor, but the power of Victor is here. The glorious evolution once more.
I mean, that, but also Yawn, this 2-item spike, man. Yawn is pumping with the help of Ayla. His Imperial Mandate, Empowered Mystic
But
Shots,
3 items,
lasers.
Harry. 3 items
Yeah.
on Victor.
Harry's gotten really big this game as CLG were trying to chase him down, not able to do so successfully. And Harry, I think importantly enough for this next fight, Harry has Flash. And if Harry has Flash, I really do not know how CLG can deal with the Victor. It's going to take a huge mistake from Harry to get caught. As Weed's blue buff goes over to triple. And CLG, 90 seconds away from Infernal Soul. Feels like they really need this one to go in their favor. Things are not getting better for CLG. Infernal Soul is the one thing that can help them match some of the scaling we see from Team Liquid.
But patience is a virtue for Team Liquid. They've got themselves a decent amount of control around the pit, so they'll know when CLG tries to go early. Or if they want, they can delay it for a while. If they give up the soul, it does give some scaling over to the side of CLG. But there is going to be a Baron spawning in a minute and 30.
Yeah. It's some scaling. I would still favor Team Liquid by a lot.
Exactly.
But CLG could use it. It's not going to hurt, right?
Well, it'll be better than nothing, yes. I agree with you on that. But the Baron, the second one of the game, if Team Liquid are able to pick this up fairly fast, there's no way that that Infernal Dragon's going to stop the game from just ending outright.
I think a couple things right now that CLG are looking for. Infinity Edge onto Luger. Getting really close to having that. Maybe Luger's able to make a miracle happen. Did just get out of base. Won't have it in time for this fight. As CLG, frankly, aren't even looking at this dragon. We're 20 seconds out. They're trying to get a pick onto Bradley, and Bradley playing very smart here. Realizing that most members from CLG are not spotted. They would drop a turret, but they will take the dragon away from CLG.
I don't even think that it was about trying to find Bradley. I think it's about getting gold and some advantages elsewhere. They know Bradley has to match them here, but they need the gold from these structures.
And Harry, he can't contest this because he doesn't have TP, so it would have enabled CLG to force Dragon then up a member. And because Harry's not here, there's no wave clear for the side of Team Liquid, so CLG committing,
out for them.
going on to Bradley.
Bradley will be fine. He still had Lulu. He still had Nami in his back pocket just in case, but the fact that they lost that inhibitor in the top lane is now something that will bite Team Liquid in the ass because they have to play around the fact that there is essentially another member on the side of CLG.
That third dragon from CLG paying a lot of value. Or if that's not soul on the table for CLG, no way Team Liquid opts in for that trade. But since it is, they are almost forced into a disadvantageous situation thanks to how CLG played out that map.
It's a wise call from CLG. They find themselves down, but not out. 3,000 gold behind Team Liquid, having gotten a lot of that influx recently from the top lane play. They have to now find themselves in a position where they can look to punish someone who might be out of position on Team Liquid.
Rosethorn sticking around, trying to get vision as resets come in. Again, the next big item we're looking at. No way. Nice.
Oh, nice Rosethorn.
Huge. Only thing he was missing was the emote spam there.
Exactly. I mean, he already got it earlier. He was already able to do the dance underneath the turret when he killed Yawn.
Next big item we're looking at is going to be that Infinity Edge for the side of CLG as Breezy. Where are you at, bud?
Where are you at? That is not where you're supposed to be.
One shot by Team Liquid. Another small mistake from CLG could turn into a big punish from TL. As Team Liquid looking to start up this Baron.
It should be theirs too. They were able, even if it's only Breezy, that's their engage tool. They're TPing Jenkins far back because they don't have confidence to actually force the fight. Instead, they're trying to see if they can draw out the members of Team Liquid. They want to get them into their position, but Rosethorn cannot get in the pit. They've got Armeo very low. Rosethorn is fighting against Yawn, but he's burning to the red buff. Might fall down. No, he survives the turnaround from Team Liquid. Even if Bradley was the casualty, they had the fight work out immaculately for Harry. With the chase down potential, the Baron in their inventory, Team Liquid, it's only a matter of time before they claim victory.
Holy smokes, that was so aggressive from Yawn, who arcane shifted into the Trundle and was trying to use Prowler's Claw to buy some space, get around it. And honestly, it bought the space for Team Liquid to burn down that Baron. And somehow Yawn survives.
Somehow, barely. I thought the red buff was going to be his end.
That was a 5 HP
undoing. Had he gone down, that would have been more worthwhile for CLG. Even if they lose the Baron, we got to keep an eye on, like you said, Yawn going aggressively there.
Yeah, in the industry, this is what we call a clincher. As Yawn, count him,
Burning,
That's
burning.
oh boy.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Well, that's calculated. That's the Korean solo queue buff right there, Mad Magical.
That's where
Full
you
effect.
type in alt chat and just say not even close. Not even close.
Wow. Unfortunate there for CLG as another Baron goes over to Team Liquid. And again, the 1-3-1 they can set up with Victor, with Fiora at this point of the game. Victor so far ahead of the power curve. Fiora so good in side lanes. No one can contest either one of these champions. And no one can get on the 3 for Team Liquid in the mid lane. So it's such a difficult scenario for CLG at this point of the game.
Looked a little dicey there for Armeo. I expected Bradley to pull the trigger and jump on top of Trundle, but instead lets him go. Understands that there's no reason. We don't know where CLG is. We don't want to throw away this massive lead we've gained back for ourselves.
And Team Liquid looking to take down this bot outer turret. As they are grouped up as 5, no more splitting for Bradley and Harry. They realize that with the range, with the poke they have, maybe grouping up as 5 is the safest move.
But a minute until we have that potential soul again for the side of CLG. And this time, I don't see them willingly giving that up to Team Liquid.
Now, good news for CLG. Luger does have Graviton, and there isn't a flash available for Harry or Yawn. Harry does have Stopwatch, so be careful. Oh,
nice
that's a good pick.
Yawn.
Yawn!
And Yawn's out of the equation. They're thwarting that fight again, the siege. All for naught for Team Liquid.
I don't know if Yawn just didn't see the Talia W with the pillar, if the pillar knocked him in, but either way, that's a big mistake from Yawn, as that's going to halt the push of Team Liquid. They have to reset, manage the top inhibitor that they dropped, and
That could be the
just
soul.
like that, yeah, CLG, that could be Soul.
Well, it depends, because we do see that Harry has TP. Can always join in, and Team Liquid have gone for a sneaky play. They're out of vision, and they might be able to contest the soul.
TLR spotted. You just hear the sweeper, and now Luger.
Okay, good bobble. Jump on top of Luger. They bounce him around to the bouncy cast by the Cyclone. Look to see if they can get once more,
Ayla.
but they got the
Jenkins.
kill on Ayla. Bradley now turns back at least one kill for the team, and that was on to Jenkins, but he doesn't have the confidence to try to deny the soul from being taken. It is secured by CLG Academy.
CLG, they get Soul, and honestly, at this point, more important for them, they get the chance to try and flip Elden. And with all the plays we've seen out of CLG, if they're able to pick Yawn, if they are able to keep on creating these scenarios for themselves, it's not like their comp doesn't do damage in the late game. You still have Luger on Aphelios. It's just, it's tough to deal with the range of Team Liquid, and we're seeing that now as Rosethorn, he's dead.
I was about to say, we're seeing the power of Harry. 7-0 and 5. Full built victor.
CLG could not deal with it on that push, and it feels like each of these teams making some mistakes in this one early in the season. Not being played out as clean as it could from either of these sides, but it has been a closely contested game, and both teams have been able to catch the throws of the other, which has led us, Mad Magical, late in the day, the 11th hour of Academy Week 1. Our final set after, what, our 29th game of the week.
That's a 29? No.
Yeah, I'm good at math.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, this is number 29.
I can math.
Good job. But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of exciting matches just to start off the split. And honestly, if teams are going to make mistakes
a wild one,
in their
man.
play, the early season is when you do it. You get them out of your system. You try to see what you can gain. Obviously, you want to win, but this is when you would expect the most mistakes to happen, when they're back in the season, they're back on the grind, and some of them playing with new teammates.
And some of the subs here for CLG, I mean, mind you, of course, Luger, still going to be the starter for CLG LCS, just sitting in until Meech gets the visa.
Yep.
Rosethorn as well, waiting for Kevy from MSI in order to try, make plays while he's in. Not a lot to talk about here, Mad Magical. We got 30 seconds till Baron. We got side lanes being manicured.
I don't know what you're
Hopefully a
talking
bang or
about. I feel like there's tons to talk about right
I mean, there is, but, you know, in terms of the game,
Right. That's what I'm
no
saying.
action here for like 20 seconds.
Oh,
We're still chilling.
That
We're fixing
20
sides.
seconds is not that much.
We're fixing sides, man.
Yeah, exactly. They're fixing sides. They've even changed a couple items. Harry swapped out one, got himself a death cap now.
Yeah, we'll take those.
honestly, it is now Harry against the world.
And Harry's yet to go down this game, and Harry, again, has Flash up, and Zhonya's. I really don't know who can deal with Harry.
No,
if he has Flash and Zhonya's up, so all eyes have to be on Harry and Jan if they're able to execute these cleanly. As Jenkins actually going to start pull the Baron. There is a blue sweeper for Jan. They will check it and see that it's at 10k, but they're burning it.
They are getting fast through it.
Another Baron burn.
Not in the pit just yet. That's going to be nearly the steal, but it was now Smite secured with Bradley on the other side. They got to get out of dodge. They can get chased down by Team Liquid, who do not want to relent. That was a huge cyclone to split up everybody.
Wait, Harry's dead. Harry's dead.
Harry, Raid Boss 1 is gone, but what about Raid Boss 2? Bradley still there to fight. Still looks like he wants to be able to jump back in. With 2 members having fallen for CLG Academy, even if they got Baron under 3, there's now Team Liquid's time to answer.
And I don't know how Harry went down. I think he flashed forward, wasn't able to get Azania's off. He just got one shot by the side of CLG, and honestly, for Harry, that's a bummer. I think if Harry's able to get multiple rounds of spells off, that could have been a decisive team fight for Team Liquid, but Team Liquid, they were late to the play. Baron's already down.
Let's watch
They
Harry.
do not respect the damage that Luger and Jenkins can pump out at this point, and let's keep our eyes on to Harry. How did he go down immediately?
I'm watching this as well. The flash forward, so he gets that.
Talia. Triple.
Nice Talia shove. The seismic shove is what caught him. And even though they do lose the top side, they lost both Trundle and Gwen, you wanted that shutdown. You needed that shutdown.
Oh, man, what a play from Triple. And I know that Triple, to start off the split, let's talk to them. He's like, you know what? It's been a rough start. It's a lot of roster changes. Not all the rosters are here. He said he's kind of sad that, that's not the case yet. But, man, I don't think he can be sad about taking down the top dogs in Team Liquid. The chance to take them out early in the season who are at full strength in the case of TL. And CLG have given them a hell of a game. It's been back and forth and mad magical. 37 minutes in almost. You gotta believe it's gonna be decided by that Elder Dragon.
And right now, Team Liquid are one of 2 teams. I don't know the result of the Dignitas game and the series on the other stream, but those were the only 2 teams that hadn't suffered a loss. Immortals, they got one yesterday, but they suffered another one today. And here, we have Jenkins looking like he's caught out way too far from home. Even if he used the hollow ground, gets taken down by Bradley.
And Team Liquid send their regards to their former Academy top laner as the TP on the Jenkins, the 1v3. That's not very fair as he's ganged up on by his old teammates. And the new top laner in Bradley is now Team Liquid. They're the ones that have a numbers advantage as CLG looking to try and maintain control over the bot side of the map, try and maintain control before the Elder Dragon spawns here in 25 seconds, but they have to see, they have to respect the numbers advantage for TL.
They are at the moment. They know that once Elder spawns, it'll be a whole 10 more seconds until Jenkins can spawn and TP into the fight. So with them playing defensively, maybe looking to see if they can delay the Elder Dragon from being taken. That's the best case scenario, as right there, Harry got a good amount of damage onto Rosethorn, who's supposed to be fairly tanky.
Bradley will get a little bit of chip damage out as well. Jenkins does spawn here in 6 seconds, does have empowered TP. We'll see if TL decide to burn this. Them being impatient, not deciding whether to start or not, is going to hurt them, as now Jenkins is up. He's TPing behind.
TP's way too far. I don't think they're going to be able to contest this. It's down to 50%. Grossler taking a lot of damage. He jumped into the backline trying to see what they can get onto Yon, but Yon is going to be able to take down Rakan, and they get one Guardian's Angel pop with Bradley.
Here comes Jenkins.
He's sold out.
Look at Luger.
Jenkins here
Harry's
to be
dead.
a hero for the team, and CLG are taking down our last remaining undefeated team.
And that was all Luger. CLG were able to peel back for Luger in what was a good start of the fight for Team Liquid. Harry, he didn't have Flash, he didn't have Sonya's. He goes down first, goes down immediately, and Luger just shreds the side of Team Liquid as CLG. What a game, what a performance from them.
Just insane play. It was dicey. It was so close back and forth this entire time. We've had so many games like this, Cubby, and this time it is CLG coming out victorious.
Wow, I mean, what a game from CLG. I know that for CLG, especially Triple, keep in mind, this team took first in the regular season last year. CLG were the hot hand going to Proving Grounds, where things just didn't end up going their way. And to start off the season, week 1, taking down the top dogs when, they were a comp that, they have that Fiora that can be invincible in the sides. Harry on the Victor was a massive problem that game. But the fact that CLG were able to stick together, find the picks, and blow up Harry in both those fights, and also peel enough for Luger in both of those fights so that he could pump out the damage in the Team Liquid. What a game from CLG, as that is massive for them. Taking a game off of Team Liquid, and now I have a chance to take a 2-0 off of Team Liquid.
I just want to say, you know what? I'm really liking this patch. There's been a lot of action.
We've had some fun games.
Crazy back and forth here to start off our first week of Academy. We're going to toss it to a break. When we come back, it'll be our final halftime show of the week. Make sure you stay tuned.